most people are not asking me how to do shit. They're asking, when will this happen for me?
Yeah, Gary, man, first of all, massive pleasure. So blessed to be on Zoom, talking to you face to face. Incredible opportunity. I just wanted to get that out of the way first and foremost.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, of course. So a little bit about the story of how this all started is I didn't know anything about Web3 or the blockchain about a year ago. And one of my best friends, who is a professional baseball player, who's also a really big fan of you, got me introduced to kind of what your book games was. I've always read your books, all your marketing books, and I knew about 12 and a half, but I didn't know anything about the NFT side of things that you had going on with it. And him, myself, and one of our other buddies, Chris Koo, had said, we were going to buy 612 of them, and they wanted to do something really creative with them. And I was like, I think we could make like a really cool video, like to try and get Gary's attention, and kind of like post it on social media and see if we can get it to blow up. I had never made a video before. We didn't really know what we were doing, so we just tried to like set up different scenes of me like sitting on all 612 books, and like me sitting in the bathroom like reading them with like 80 of them stacked in the shower, just like all this different stuff. And we posted it, didn't really know what to expect, obviously hope for the best. And then like the next day, like 12 hours later, I remember I was with my girlfriend in Boulder, Colorado. We woke up and I was like, dude, Gary Vee reposted the story, reposted the video on his Instagram. Yep. And then I was getting phone calls from like all my boys that I was like having them tag you in it, because I like hit up like 150 people. Like I had cousins that I hadn't talked to in like 10 years. I was like, go tag Gary Vee in this video. Don't ask me questions, just please do it. Like they're like, well, did you make that? This, that, and the other. And then fast forward all the way to now, and like, man, I can't even begin to express like how much like I've learned in Web3. As you know, kind of like in the video, I started my own NFT project. We had some, turmoil with the mint. A lot of different things happened. But man, I've been like really, really grateful for the opportunity. And like I've dedicated now, which is so weird to even say, my whole entire life to like Web3 content creation and Web3, the blockchain, and kind of just making sure that I get my roots set correctly in Web3, because like you say in all your videos, I believe it's the future. I feel like I talk so much, I want to hear you talk now. So I just want to get going again. Like, yeah, it's just an incredible opportunity. Like I'm so thankful that we had the time to hop on a call.
Thrilled to be here. I talk so much publicly, as like, where I sit on all these things and that nature. I just want to try to bring you as much value in our 10 minutes here as possible. So is there anything I can answer for you or anything I can help with?
Yeah, 100%. So again, like kind of going back to the NFT project, we had the best intention. We were looking to kind of bridge the gap between clothing and NFTs and like Web3 projects. And what we did pre-Armament was partner with 6 really, really good projects. Like Llamaverse was one of them. Champs Only's Pass was another one. It was one of the biggest alpha callers in the space, and this, that, and the other. And what we were going to do is we were going to create curated clothing drops for their communities, and pre-mint they were going to endorse our project. And we had really a lot of good things going before our mint. As you know, like a lot of things in the NFT space rely heavily on what happens on your mint day. There was a UI issue that I had overlooked. I'm not a developer, but I should have been more diligent in like my due diligence on like what happened on the development side of things, and it kind of fudded out. That made things really, really difficult to build longer term. We set up a marketplace, we had staking for a little bit, and now it's just kind of faded to the point where our partners are kind of like not responding to us, and it kind of is transgressed into this thing that I built called Threads, which isn't really related to the NFT project, but in a way it's the reason I started it, which was to ultimately bridge the gap between clothing and Web3 brands, because a lot of Web3 brands want clothing. They just don't know how to do it the correct way. I have like really, really good clothing manufacturing connections. I started my own clothing brand. I just like know the process fairly well. I have a tech design background as well. So we're partnered with projects like Neo Tokyo, Llamaverse, Bento Boy, Yoga Pets, and a couple other ones that we're already building with. I'm building with like the Bay LA community. And we're just providing, Threads is just providing really, really cool clothing drops and high quality clothing drops for these communities. And that's kind of just our relationship. What I really kind of want to know is how to kind of navigate the tumultuous Web3 culture of, being a quote unquote failed founder, even though we had the best intentions. I haven't left the space since the day I got in. It's not like, we can't be called like a rug pull or anything, because, we didn't make that much money. All the funds are on the blockchain. It went to the team and into the marketplace that we tried to develop, and we just ended up running out of funds.
People will forget that over time, because it's the truth. Mm-hmm. Too many people get bent out of shape when 6 people out of 1,000 are saying you're shit. If it's not a rug pull, then it's not a rug pull.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing else to really say. Like, you know, you're, even in this short call, you're being very accountable of like, there was a tech misstep, hurt us, hurt the momentum, our launch didn't go well. You know, I'm in disagreement with the space that a launch requires success. I mean, CryptoPunks were free and didn't sell out at free. Obviously that was super duper early and most people didn't even know how to get them for free. But like, you know, I think that, you know, you've got other dynamics in play here, partners, things of that nature. Do I think that Threads with a 3.io can't be successful because you had a project that didn't go as successfully as you want? I don't think so at all.
No, that's amazing to hear. And I appreciate the feedback on it. I think I kind of just get caught up on like, in terms of like what happened in the past. And I think it's really hard to like let go of something that you emotionally invested in for.
I mean, there's things that people like try to stick on me that stick for a year in people's opinions that aren't true. That's even harder.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that happen in life. Like you know, what's most important though is the intent and the truth. And if you have those two things on your side, I think you're in a really good spot.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you on that.
And as long as you're willing to acknowledge, you know, if someone's like, hey, and you're like, yeah, it didn't work out, here are the reasons why.
Yeah, no, which we have been doing continuously on social media and in our Discord. We kind of, I mean, I've been a straight shooter with whoever invested in us early on, as often as I can be. I guess kind of building off of that too, I know it might be kind of a difficult question to answer because you might not come from a clothing background, but as I'm building now Threads and what we're trying to do in Web3, which is kind of bridge the gap for Web3 brands and NFT projects and their communities to have access to manufacture and supply their communities, like the highest quality cut and sew clothing merch. When it comes to marketing that to the space, or when it comes to getting in other projects' eyes, do you have any advice on what the best way to approach that on Twitter, what that would be?
Content and sales. Host spaces, produce videos, write LinkedIn posts, share those LinkedIn posts on Twitter, business develop, join spaces, don't shill your product, just have it in your profile. Sales and marketing are the engines for businesses. You know, there's no secret tactic. Like, obviously TikTok and YouTube Shorts right now, Facebook Reels have extra organic reach from some of the other social platforms, so they become a priority. But Twitter and Discord is where this market lives. And so making content on those platforms, but then bringing exposure to that content on Discord and Twitter in a tasteful way that takes on a little bit more of a jab, 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 right hook approach is the advice I'd give.
And then when it comes to, because I was going to touch on that too, because I'm aware that obviously the NFT space and Web3 is heavily developed in Twitter and Discord currently. I'm trying to find different ways to organically funnel the audience that I'm currently curating, which has been going pretty well recently on my social medias, on my personals for Web3, to different platforms like YouTube, like TikTok. And I just don't know like what the most effective way would be to try and get people that are invested in my content.
Make good content and share it in those channels. There's, you know, if I posted a link right now to a YouTube video, it would do well for my Twitter because I've amassed a large audience over 2006, 16 years. How old were you 16 years ago?
11.
You know, I think that's important to remember. I think you know the answers. Tactically, how do you do it? You post native creative in TikTok or Twitter, native creative in Twitter that looks visually appealing to make someone want to watch it on another platform. The question becomes, why do you want them to watch it on another platform? I think sometimes people get ideological about, I want to build out my other channels. What you want is as many people as possible to consume your content as possible. Diversification matters because what if Twitter dies? But Twitter's now almost 15 years, or already 15 years old. Like, it's not going away tomorrow. So you want to build up those other platforms, you have to do best work there. Thumbnails and titles on YouTube, right? You know, you need to be active there. But using Twitter, if that's your home base, to bring exposure to the other platforms is easy. You throw 10 good pieces of content that for Twitter, and then you throw one right hook to get people to go and look at your other stuff there, and you just do that for a decade.
I love it. No, I'm so in it too. I love the decade advice too. That's like one of my favorite things you always touch on.
It's super real because most people aren't asking me how, they're asking me when will this happen for me? Most people are not asking me how to do shit. They're asking when will this happen for me?
Yeah, no, I love it.
It's not hard to know how to embed a YouTube video into a tweet that visually previews better than not better, right? You put the link in and you get to see before you post it, does this look good or not? You could do a Twitter thread on the subject matter that you covered on the YouTube video, because Twitter threads do well, that does well.
No, that's a really good idea.
And the 4th post actually has a link to the full video. The 7th post has a screenshot from a scene from the video with the URL that you want to push them towards. So like you can do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna implement that literally ASAP. That's a genius idea on
That's
how to
that's a tactic, and I don't mind sharing tactics. I like sharing tactics, but the real punchline is consistency of valuable information that people want. Whether that information, value comes in comedy form, value comes in being attractive. That's why people that are pretty, boys and girls, have followers. Value comes in, not being attractive, but knowing what the fuck you're saying, and people get value from that. There's a lot of ways to win, but everybody has to find their way to win, and that has to be value. And again, comedy or music is escapism. The world is scary. There's so much unrest. Right now in Brazil, there's a lot going on. I'm sure there's a bunch of people listening to music or watching shows just to escape that anxiety, right? There's being attractive. That's why there's a modeling industry. People, fantasize of looking that way or being with somebody that looks that way. And then there's information, education value. And I think for you, making unlimited content around why this type of or this type of quality, or analyzing people's merch. If I'm you, I'm buying merch from every top project, Doodles, VeeFriends, Bored Ape, and then doing a review show similar to my Wine Library TV of what you think of it, but being positive about it. So you're like, good job by VeeFriends. Like I like the beanies right in that mix. I like that Gary and team stitched this. I see a lot of people just gluing it. That gets fucked up after 3 washes. Just showing people you know what you're talking about, and you don't have to shit on anybody. But by the way, if VeeFriends puts out a shitty hoodie, like cause we mailed it in, like you need to talk about that in a kind way, but like this is not where I would have went. Too many people right now are in hot take tearing down people, like, the fuck, it's Gary Vee, if you think you're so fucking awesome, why'd you make that? Like, that's not nice. What could be nice is like, I'm not sure exactly what they were thinking here. Maybe they were going for a lower price point, but I think this is a corner that people shouldn't take, because if he stitched this, it'd be $1.09 more, but by putting the glue patch, he maybe saved $1.09 and maybe he passed on that savings to you, the consumer, but it's not gonna be as good of a product. This beanie would have been worn for 2 winter seasons. Now there's no way this is going past 1, and probably like that kind of content I think could be quite powerful.
Yeah, no, I agree, and that's something I never even thought about doing. I always knew that.
That's why you wanted this time, right?
No, exactly. No, that's exactly why I wanted this time.
And that's almost the meta of it all, right? Like, again, I'm not here because I'm giving people escapism through comedy or music. I'm not here because I'm nice to look at 24/7 and daydream about me. I'm here because I try to provide valuable content to people that might help them, both in the macro and in the micro. And like, I really hope this helped you, brother.